right. Thank you, everybody. Welcome to the call. Thank you for taking time to get on, or if you are watching the recording, we know plugging in is key to success and learning from each other. And I am super excited for who we get to hear from tonight. We get to hear from a couple ladies on our team that are absolutely amazing. I love working with them every single day. I think we pretty much work together and talk together. So I'm first going to ask and have Stephanie Gunn share with us. And I have asked her to share a little bit of her story. And most of you probably know her name, heard of her. She's an amazing manager who carries herself more like an ENVP, is on her way to that for sure in Binghamton. And I have had the amazing pleasure of working with her for a few years. And I wanted her to come on here and just share with you guys a little bit of her story, not necessarily like her story from the perspective that we would share it at a presentation with people that are not part of Arbonne, but as a way, because I know that she has valuable things that will connect with people to inspire you guys. So she's going to share a quick little few minute snippet of her story to help connect and inspire with you guys. So Stephanie, if you're there, go ahead and take it away.
We are here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because we had last minute technical difficulties, so I'm on the phone, but here we are. Wow, thank you so much. I'm so excited to share on this call for a number of reasons. Timing wise, most importantly for us on this call, that it's right on that cusp of GTC, where a lot of us are like, ooh, I don't know, can I swing it? Does this make sense? And I'm going to speak to that because this is my 5th year in this is my 5th year in Arbonne, and I never knew when I signed up 5 years ago that my life would look like it does now. And like all of us, I have had some really life-changing behind the scenes, not pretty on Facebook, not pretty with any Instagram filter, situations happen in my life that I never knew that I would ever have to prepare for. And I'm telling you, without my Arbonne family and without this past 5 years of being surrounded by these leaders, I would never be in the place that I am right now. And I mean that in my mindset space and who I am as a person, who I am as a mother, who I am as a contributing family member to my siblings and my parents. And I want to say that because I've been in Arbonne 5 years, and when I started, I remember saying at my first GTC, you know, every year I'm going to walk the stage, I'm going to walk the stage, and you'll hear me say it every year. But I've really become a professional in renewing my hope with myself, giving myself grace. And I'm urging you to not base your success in Arbonne on your numbers, because there's so much richness here that you will miss out on if you're only judging yourself on your dashboard. If it were your financial advisor, it would have told me to throw in the towel a long time ago. But what I have gained in this is I have gained a system that matches my efforts. So on those days when you feel like I literally can't do this, life is way too crazy, there is no other job or income making thing that you can do that's going to multiply your efforts like this does. This is a system that you could feel proud of plugging yourself in and other people in, not only because of the strong economic return, but because of the people that we have, the quality of humans that we plug people into. It's just the best gift you can give someone. And with that being said, when you can't afford to go to GTC, you can't afford the time and you can't afford the money, that's when you need to be there the absolute most. I have been to GTC every year except for the year I was giving birth, and my daughter has been twice. And what that has gifted us is we didn't see the financial turn right immediately. But in those situations, my family needed me to be the biggest version of me I could be, and that's what GTC gifted me. GTC is so much bigger than anything any of us could ever explain to you. And in these 5 years, you will see me, I am friends with so many different sidelines and so many different teams and so many different, because I knew going in the value of these people. You get to build relationships with people that have successful lives. You don't see people hugging people at GTC like, hey, what's your QB this month? How are you? Like, it doesn't matter. No one's judging you on that. You're only judging yourself on that. And this, I really, oh my gosh, it's hard for me to not cry when I talk about this, but I am not an Arbonne expert, but I am an Arbonne lifer. And I will be on these calls when I'm 100, watching my daughter be a 6-wide ENVP and be training, because this is the lifeblood. This is the support team that you need to do your life with, especially in our current situation. So I urge you to work your business preparing for impact, but work your business relationship deep. Roll in those circles that you feel like, wow, they're kind of above my head. And not just because their clothes are nicer, but because of how you're living. I consistently ask myself, like, what would Carlita do right now? What would Marie say to this person because Marie speaks so kindly? What would Elaine say to this new business builder because Elaine's brain just says things in such an organized way? And that is what I want you to really wrap your head around, that you don't know where you're going to be in 5 years. And I never thought I'd be here, but I walk with no fear. I interviewed at an out-of-state private school for my daughter with knowing I had all this Arbonne family in my back pocket. So when you feel like you don't fit in and you feel like you can't afford to go to GTC and you feel like your numbers don't earn you a seat at the table, pull up the chair, be brave, and get to know these people, because they will walk with you for your whole life, and I will too. So I just wanted to share that at this moment, but that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you, Stephanie. I love hearing you. And hi, Wild. You did a really good job listening to
Hey, buddy.
Very good. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your heart and sharing that inspiration, because it's true. This is more than just a business. This is a family of supporters, right? That we are all in this together here with each other. So thank you for touching on that and sharing that, because I know that will help people. So next, I want to introduce you guys to another amazing district manager, also in Binghamton, also who, if you have get to spend any time with her, carries herself like an ENVP as well, and is really quickly on her way there. This girl is exploding. Kaylie Vanvorce, like, we came back from the retreat and, gave challenges to schedule take-a-look calls and all that. And every time I check my calendar, it's like back to back to back to back to back, Kaylie Vanvorce, Kaylie Vanvorce, Kaylie Vanvorce, Kaylie Vanvorce. And then we turned all of those into getting started calls. And she is like popping quick. So I am so excited to get to learn from her tonight. And each month, for those of you that may be new or not familiar, what we do right now is we're doing a different book each month that we're focusing on and are inspired by for the trainings. So it's not specific chapters each week or anything. We're just allowing any section of the book or the parts of the book that most spoke to them or inspired them or that they want to share. So this is our last week on the 7 habits of highly effective people. And that is what the amazing Kaylie is going to hop on here now and share with us. And I'm excited to get to learn from you, Kaylie.
Marie, wow, that was amazing. I'm going to share my screen here. Thank you guys for getting on. And like, Carlita says, plug in or die. So congrats to you for getting on. Okay, so really what spoke to me was actually the end of the book, which was chapters 6 and 7. And of course, we know who have been reading that this book was a little bit more difficult. And can you guys hear me okay? Marie, can you see everything and hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so like I said, of course, a little more difficult and a little bit more, on the advanced side of things, but my goal is to kind of simplify it into kind of the nuggets that I got of the whole thing. Like I said, more specifically to the end, and how it really relates to us and Arbonne, and how we can really use this in our businesses and our self-development. So the chapter 6 was the habit number 6 is synergy. And it's actually so funny is because my gym is called Synergy. So it really kind of came full circle. And synergy is better than my way or your way. It's our way. So the whole is greater than the sum of all its parts, he says. The relationship of the parts have to each other is part in and of itself. and is actually the most exciting part. So how I look at this is our Arbonne team, and the whole team counts. Nations count as a whole. It's not just one independent consultant, it's our whole team. So it's the highest activity in all of life, the true test and manifestation of all other habits put together. It's the essence of principle-centered leadership and parenting, others as well, but it really focuses on teamwork, team building, the development of unity and creativity with other human beings, which in this case unleashes the greatest powers within all of these people. So the essence of what synergy is valuing the differences and respecting them. So it increases your own awareness when you do that, which then creates an environment for synergy to happen. All people see the world not as it is, but as they are. So in the book we're reading, we see this image, and some people see this woman, so her hair, nose, jawline, choker, and others see the old woman, so her two eyes, this is her big nose, and her lips. So it's all based on differences, but accepting those, respecting those, and learning to grow from there. So we build on the strengths and compensate for the weaknesses. And we can actually script and change this, which is really, really cool. So a lot of people, because they don't get a chance to experience synergy, they're trained and scripted into the defensive and protective communication. They believe that life or people can't be trusted. And so much potential remains untapped, undeveloped, unused. But the good part is we can change this, right? So if we're authentic to our true selves, and it says be fearlessly authentic, it takes an early moment of that courage to be authentic. But once you do, it allows others to become open and honest and authentic with themselves, which causes the synergistic communication process, which is huge. Usually ends with insights and plans that no one anticipated. So I like to say that our retreats are like this, or impact. One person has the courage to share their story or whatever's on their heart first, and it allows others to feel more comfortable, more relatable, and it makes them feel safer to express themselves. This produces a sense of excitement, adventure, and keeps the process going. So when this keeps going, it creates momentum, which creates activity. And I love to use Marie's new word, mactivity, momentum and activity together. So the creative process is actually the most terrifying. And I love this photo. If you want something in your life you've never had, you'll have to do something you've never done. And it takes an internal security. You don't know what's going to happen and where it will lead. You don't know the new dangers or challenges. And you have to leave your comfort zone. It's just like starting an Arbonne business. We are in this fishbowl of normal, and we need to get out of that and into the Arbonne fishbowl. So really getting out of that comfort zone. And when that happens, you become, and he says this, which I love, you become a trailblazer, a pathfinder, and you open new possibilities and territories so that others can follow you. So I thought that was amazing, that it totally tied into exactly what we say with Arbonne. So synergy is actually really powerful in dealing with the negative forces that work against growth and change that we need to get to our goals. So on the one side, we have our driving forces toward our goal, and the other side is restraining forces, or negative forces, excuses, if you will, that prevent us from getting to our goals. So if we use motive, which was habit number 4, skill 5, and interaction number 6, to work on those restraining forces, they can in turn go to driving forces towards our goals. If we create a safe environment to talk about these restraining or negative forces, it loosens up those forces and creates new insights. So say, for example, in a one-on-one, we're asking on a scale of 1 to 5, where are you at on this scale so we can better support you and lead you in the direction that you need. And people say, I'm a 4. my next question is, okay, so what's holding you back? What is that's in between that space of being a 4 and a 5 that you're ready to jump in? And what that does is it really kind of forces people to think, oh, you know what? It's time, or it's this, or it's that. And those generally are excuses, right? So it brings these ideas to light that are actually not as bad as what they think they are. And in turn, it turns these restraining forces into driving forces, and they think, oh, okay, I could do this. When people make new goals, when we are at Impact and these retreats and we make new goals and we share them, it allows the whole organization to make goals and grow together. So it creates excitement and a whole new culture of growing and using these driving forces towards our goals. Unfortunately, you can't control other people or the whole synergy process, but a great deal of synergy, he says, is within your circle of influence. So I thought that was awesome too, because I believe there's a GTC category or something along the lines. You know, how do we get here? And we work on ourselves, and we work on serving for other people. So the last part of the book, which ties, I think, everything together and a huge part of what we do in Arbonne, is a renewal and sharpening of the saw. So I saw this awesome quote, which he talks about in the book, sawing also, is if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. So habit 7 is personal. It's preserving and enhancing the greatest asset, which is you. So in the book, he talks about coming across a person who is sawing a tree with a very dull blade. And if he took the time to just take a break, sharpen a saw, it would be so much faster and more effective. But he claims he doesn't have time because he's busy sawing. So I must say I have gotten myself into that situation before, so this really came to light. But the single most powerful investment we can ever make in life is in ourselves. It's the only instrument we have to deal with life and to contribute. We are the instruments of our own performance, and to be effective, we need to recognize the importance of taking time regularly to sharpen the saw in all 4 ways. So pretty much taking time and taking care of yourself before you can take care of other people. Serving yourself so you're able to serve others. Loving yourself before you're able to love others. So there are 4 dimensions that he talks about of renewal. And the first one is physical, or the body. And this is huge. And a lot of people don't see this or do it consistently because it's not urgent. So for example, exercise. We don't like it because it's not something that we need to do urgently. We're not going to like it at first, but if we keep doing it and be proactive and just do it anyway, it improves us as a whole. So he was saying, gave the example of if it's raining and you've scheduled a run anyway, just do it. You get to develop your willpower along with your body. So a couple other examples: eating healthy, sleeping, resting, and taking time to relax and stress management. The greatest benefit of all this is developing habit number 1, which was muscles of proactivity. As you act on the value of physical well-being, instead of all the negative forces, also known as excuses, of not working out or exercising, your paradigm of yourself, your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and your integrity will profoundly be affected, of course, in a positive way. So the next dimension was spiritual, or soul, as it's listed. And this is where I think of as our 6 S's of serving. So it provides leadership to your life. He said the greatest battles of life are fought out daily in the silent chambers of the soul. So huge. Making a personal mission statement is so important. And if we have a deep understanding of our center and our purpose, we can review and recommit to it frequently. We can visualize and live out the events of our day in harmony with those values. So again, serving yourself so you can serve other people. And he talks about, as it doesn't matter what your job is, as long as you are serving others, you do your job well. So whether you're a hairdresser, a housewife, a salesman, a mailman, a nurse, as long as your primary goal is to serve that person, you're doing a great job. The next dimension was mental, or mind, as it's listed. So reading, educating yourself, writing, learning new skills. He says that the person who doesn't read is no better off than the person who doesn't read. And what comes to my mind is a training that I heard, I don't know if it was GTC, and there was a trainer that was struggling in her business, and she went to her upline and her sponsor, and she said, I'm doing everything I need to, but nothing's happening. And she said, tell me one thing. What book is on your nightstand right now? And she was like, there isn't one. So if you are having struggles with your business or personal development or something, what book are you reading? If you're not reading something, you need to get a book. It's only going to grow you, in which case grow all the other aspects of your world. So the last one is social, or the heart. So this is your emotional dimension also. So building relationships, giving service. There's an intrinsic security, he says, that comes from service, from helping other people in a meaningful way. Service is the rent we pay for the privilege of living on this earth. And not a day goes by that we can't at least serve one other human being by making deposits of unconditional love. I thought that was amazing. We do Arbonne to serve other people. And unless serving others, whether it's financially or with the products or anything, unless you are serving others, you're not going to do well in this business. Is the whole reason why we get into this, is to help others. So I'm going to end on this, I love this quote, as he talks about scripting. And most people are scripted by opinions, perceptions, and paradigms of people around them, which a lot of times, especially now on social media, there's a lot of negative things going around. But the good news is that we can change this, right, to whatever we want. When someone believes in you, when you don't believe in yourself, they scripted you. If you could be a positive affirmer or scripter from someone else, what could that do for them? We always say, borrow my belief, especially when you're just getting started and you don't know if you can do this and you don't know if you can make those goals. There's someone that believes in you, so borrow that belief from them temporarily, but borrow that to get you through. Using the affirmations, I must say that I was never really a true believer or practicer of affirmations until recently, which now shows in my business. I'm saying things that are coming about, and everybody says in this business, what you think about, you bring about. So we always see better in other people, and we need to still continue to encourage each other.
I think it's just Kaylie that froze because I see everybody else moving. Hopefully she'll unfreeze here. Kaylie, come back. Oh, okay.
Did I go off?
Oh yeah, there you are. You did, you froze.
Was that the only time?
Yes, that was the only time.
Thank God, okay. Where was I at? Do you know?
Heart. Somebody's.
Oh my God. Okay. Wow. That was
No, Kaylie, you were talking about how we get into Arbonne to serve other people and building other people up. You only froze like in the last 20 seconds.
Okay. Perfect. So nothing about scripting and opinions and affirmations and all that.
You were talking about how if you're having if you're not believing in yourself, you're allowing someone else to script you. And then you said, I've gotten into, I never used to do self-affirmations until recently. And then I think it was right about there.
Okay, let me share again. I'm going to bring this quote. Well, I don't need to bring the quote. You guys saw the quote. I'm going to make myself proud. Okay. So again, like I said, I never used to do affirmations, never really believed in them or practiced them until recently, and it's now showing in my business. So we always say what you think about, you bring about, and it's true. So if you're not doing affirmations, do them. And if you don't believe in yourself, there's someone that does. So borrow their belief. And I love, how we talk about, or he says, there's so much we can invest in the emotional bank account for other people. So it makes me think of retreats and team trainings and impact and GTC, that we expose ourselves to these other people, this huge team that believes in us, which helps build our own belief. So do yourself a favor and tell yourself, I'm going to make you so proud, whatever that may be. And of course, you come up with whatever will make you proud in your affirmations. So that's it. I hope you guys got something out of it, and it was a nice wrap up to the book.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much. I love how you took the principles of what he said in that book and applied it to, okay, how does this look in our Arbonne business? Also love, isn't it amazing when you read books like this that are just about, success and good habits and things like that for a good, well-rounded, successful life, and they have nothing to do with Arbonne, but you're reading that and you're like, this is Arbonne, this is what we do. How amazing is that that's what's built into our culture, the things you were talking about, culture and personal development and serving others, that's Arbonne to the core. So it's amazing. I love when you see that. And I think one of my favorite things, or an action step I want to give everybody, is when you said something about having a personal mission statement. And that's our why, right? We talk all the time about our whys, but do you have it? Actually, I know I don't have it. I have whys listed, but I don't have it written in a statement form of why I exist in my Arbonne business. And so if you don't have it, some of you may have that, but if you don't have that, I want to give you that challenge this week. Let's do that. I'm going to do that, of writing my personal mission statement. And I know in my head why I do what I do, but it's so powerful to create that into an actual statement. So I love that you brought that part up. So I think we just have another minute or two. If anybody else has anything that you want to hop on and add that maybe spoke to you or stood out or was helpful to you. Thank you, Kaylie. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. We will be back here at the same time next week. Stephanie and Kaylie, thank you so much. That was absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to share the recording and work on my personal mission statement, amongst other things this week. Thank you, everybody.